Okay, so thinking back about my time in American Ethnic Studies, like literally brings me back to like fall semester of my freshman year. Like I've been taking classes every single semester that I've been at K-State. Um, and I think back to who I remember I was as a freshman and who I like to think that I am now. And I realize that this department and like the classes I've taken in this department have impacted me more than any other department, period. Aside from maybe Tushabe and like women's studies. But at one point she was here and hot mess. And there are two themes that really surface of things that I have learned and are still learning, but are directly rooted from classes and concepts that I've taken in the department. One is intersectionality, and then two is are the impacts of colonialism. And so, like coming into college, I knew that everyone had like these multiple identities, but I didn't necessarily understand what intersectionality was or why it was important, or being that young, naive, optimist, possibly activist. I don't know what I was. But I thought that, but it was like really taking intro to American Ethnic Studies and intro to women's studies at the same time that I was really able to like grasp this concept. And it's a concept that has followed me through everything that I've done, and it's something that I can easily detect both when it is being talked about, researched, etc. effectively, but also when intersectionality is lacking in research, in conversation, in activism, in events, etc. It's something I can now easily distinguish when it is lacking in whatever component of my life that I'm addressing in that moment. And something about intersectionality is that I've been able to critically apply it to my other degree as well as my minors. The journalism school here, just in general, lacks any concept of marginalized populations, period. And so when I worked for the Collegian for 3 years, they just didn't get it. And then when I specifically like addressed like intersectionality, like I wrote before, like really understanding this concept, and I've made some mistakes, I've had some bumps in my road, like easily put, like there have been times during my college career like I fucked up, but like this department helped me, and the people in this department helped me understand how I fucked up and why I fucked up, and help guide me to find answers so that I don't repeat it, so that I can have more knowledge, to not repeat the same mistake. And then the second thing that I've really taken from this department is like the impacts of colonialism, both speaking like historically and how it culminates like contemporarily. And that's been really just like a recent thing, past year, 3 semesters-ish. So that has impacted, like that's something that I've taken in the sense that like I better understand how my whiteness has an effect on the world around me, and how others still, like how it still like infiltrates like every aspect of society, period. But as someone who identifies as like a young researcher, I really want to work to continue to also like decolonize the research process and what that looks like, and kind of like, because I'm not like fully into a career, like I can still like make really potentially drastic mistakes and not necessarily be sanctioned for those mistakes, while I'm trying to figure out how a decolonial research process, like, and what that would look like. So those are 2 main areas that I've really taken from the department. And really something that struck me when I thought about graduating is that I was like, I'm never going to be able to take courses from these professors again because they also don't offer a graduate certificate or program. And I'm like was almost like this shocking moment because there's such a wealth of knowledge here that's only available to undergraduates who tend to not utilize it or care about it or value it. But then finally when you're about to graduate, you're like, yeah, like I know all these people, like I know where their research lies, like super excited. And then it's like if you stay at K-State for grad school, it's like that like sure you can interact with them and sure they can help guide you, but not all of them are like certified to work with graduate students, and not all of them very few of them teach graduate level courses. So it's like hard to have that type of access. So that was something that like really not necessarily like hurt me, but something that was a sort of painful realization. And the way that I'm going to continue to use this knowledge as I move forward is, as I mentioned, in decolonizing the research process. I'm entering grad school in the fall. That's what I hope to bring to that department, to the people who are on the research committee, to my committee chair, and just like my life in general. Being trained methods and methodologies from white scholars in predominantly like colonial fields who just don't get it, but also being taught by really revolutionary researchers here in this department and in the women's studies department, really helps me know that like I have advocates, or if I have questions on the process, I have resources, which I think is really great.